The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Wicked Weed Studios, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Jeremy Greene, this is Brian Haynes, and this is the AFC North win-loss projections for 2021. I look at this division, Brian, see if you're on the same page I am. I could easily see, I don't see any way there's not two playoff teams from this division. There could be three.
Yeah, absolutely. Cleveland is probably a lock for the playoffs. I think Baltimore has a kind of schedule that's set up for them where it's a little easier in the front half and brutal in the second half, but I still think they can make the playoffs. And it really all depends on Ben Roethlisberger's arm, if Pittsburgh can make the playoffs or not. If it holds out and they find a way to not have him throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game, Pittsburgh could make the playoffs as well.
And then there's the Bengals, and all of their fans just assume.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
There's going to be more of that than you want there to be.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. And it's not that I hate the Bengals. I hate their schedule, and I hate the fact that their offensive line is where it is. So to get this started, probably the best one, my division winner, the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
This is the Cleveland Browns 2021 win-loss projection from the Sportsocracy. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Brian Haynes. Brian, I can't believe I'm getting ready to say what I'm going to say. But I look at the Cleveland Browns, and I don't see any way they don't win this division.
They're definitely going to win this division. And I think that they're probably going to have in that 12 to 13 win season this year. I think they're going to be really, really good all over the field. It just really all depends on what Baker Mayfield are we going to see. Are we going to see the one that has improved a little bit in his decision-making? Or are we going to see the one with especially Odell being on the team, him trying to force the ball to him, taking them out of their offense? Listen, this team is a running team. This is a running team, and it needs to stay that route. If they start throwing the ball over the field, they're going to be in trouble. But these guys are absolutely loaded.
This is a team that's completely stacked. Yes, they start out at the Chiefs, and I think that's going to be a loss. From there, they then play the Texans, Bears, Vikings, Chargers, and Cardinals, and Broncos. I could easily see that being 6 wins.
Yep.
Then you get the Steelers, Bengals, Patriots. I can see that being 3 more wins.
Yep.
There is a path to me that this team is 10-1 going into their first game with the Ravens.
I can 100% see that. There might be a loss or two in there, but for the most part, they're going to be in a position to be looking at a first-round bye, possibly have the number 1 seed in the actual AFC this year.
It's entirely possible. Tank has them, my usual partner has them at 13-4, and I've got them at 14-3.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I do not see how they don't win 12 games.
I believe I had them at 13-4 as well.
We'll take a look at your projection for the season on the whole.
Yeah.
You have the Browns at 10-7.
Yep.
You've got them at 10-7, making it to the divisional round of the playoffs, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, that was mine. Yeah, 10-7. Yeah. I went through these each wins, and I think that maybe I did throw in a couple losses in there where I think there could be going other ways.
You had a Patriots loss in there that doesn't make any damn sense to me.
Here's the thing. I think they're going to be very, very good. I don't know if they're going to be able to beat Kansas City.
I don't know that either. I have them beating Baltimore in the playoffs. I have them as the 1 seed in the AFC. Mm-hmm. Which is almost mind-boggling for me to say out loud.
Wow.
I have them as the 1 seed in the AFC.
Jeremy
I have
Greene.
them losing to Buffalo in the AFC Championship game, and I can see a path where I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I look at that and go, you have Baker Mayfield, I get Josh Allen. I'm probably going to go that way, but it could easily happen to where they're in the Super Bowl. This is a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and I don't see any way that you could view it any other way.
Yeah.
This has been the Cleveland Browns 2021 win projection from the Sportsocracy. Be sure to click the like and subscribe button so you'll see every time we go live, including every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Live from the Wicked Weed Studios, as always, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. me to say that much nice about the Cleveland Browns.
I understand that. I knew it. Jeremy Greene saying that the Browns are going to win 14 games this year is kind of like the bizarro world.
That's weird. It didn't feel right. I feel like I need a bath.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's another team in this division that I have to say a lot of nice things about, and it feels weird too. And it's the Baltimore Ravens. This is the Baltimore Ravens 2021 win-loss projection from the Sportsocracy. I'm Jeremy Greene of ESPN Radio. This is Brian Haynes. And Brian, I've spent many years being a doubter of Lamar Jackson, and somehow the hate from everywhere else has become so serious that I have become a Lamar Jackson apologist.
I know, it's kind of crazy. The knock that we've had on him is that he doesn't throw the ball well enough for them to win a Super Bowl, and that we always seem to think that someone's going to figure out this running scheme that they're doing, this RPO, and that it's just never going to take them that far. Now, they're in a big-time year right here. This is the year that they have to make or break on Lamar Jackson. Whether they decide to, give him that contract, a big contract that's going to force them into being beholden to Lamar Jackson for the next couple of years is going to be made right here. And I think unless they make it to the Super Bowl, I'm going to say AFC Championship game, I don't believe that Lamar Jackson is going to get that extension.
I do. I think he is going to get the extension. I don't think it's going to be as big as people think it is, and I've said that for a long time. But here's the number one thing I will say about the Ravens. Look at the schedule. You start with the Raiders, yes, then you go to the Chiefs, but then it's Lions, Broncos, Colts, Chargers, Bengals, Vikings, at the Dolphins, at the Bears before you play the Browns. I feel the exact same way about the Ravens that I do about the Browns. You could be sitting on 8 wins before you go in to play Cleveland the first time.
Right.
If you split that series, Ben's arm's falling off by the time you have to play you have to play Pittsburgh. I can see him beating Pittsburgh twice.
Right.
They're going to slaughter the Bengals both times they play them. I just don't see any way that this is not a good year for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I had them actually winning like the first 7 or 8 games of them, even beating the Chiefs because I think they get them at home on a short week, and I thought that was probably going to be a victory for Baltimore. That back end of the season where they play Cleveland twice, Pittsburgh twice, Green Bay, and Los Angeles is kind of brutal. You throw in
But
Miami.
by then it may not matter.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. You don't know what Steelers team you're getting. And you don't know what you got going on from there.
Correct. I have the Baltimore Ravens at 13-4, as does my usual partner, Tank Spencer. Brian, where did you have the Baltimore Ravens?
I believe I had them at 10-7, tied for the
You've had them tied for the division.
Yeah, but I think I had the Browns beating them in the head-to-head twice, maybe, or I don't exactly know how it played out.
The Browns won the tiebreaker.
Yeah, the Browns ended up winning the tiebreaker. Baltimore still makes the playoffs, and I have them playing the Colts in the first round. And I think the Colts are going to end up beating them. And I just see this playing out this year to where more and more teams are going to be apt to understand what kind of offense they're on. I know that they've upgraded in their wide receiver position through the draft and through free agency. Sammy Watkins is actually a pretty good blocking wide receiver that fits this offense pretty well. I can't, until I see it happen, I just cannot see Lamar Jackson being a quarterback that can take that team to a extended run in the playoffs.
Again, I can't believe I'm the one being the Lamar Jackson apologist, but I have the Ravens 1 game behind the Browns. If they tie for the division, they actually win the division. And I would have them, if Baltimore were to beat Cleveland in one of the 2 games, I had them losing both. I don't feel super great about that.
Yeah.
The more I've thought about it, I could easily see them winning the division, and if they do, they could end up being the 1 seed in the AFC.
Right.
If that happens, that playoff game with Kansas City is in Baltimore, I would have them winning that game in Baltimore and playing the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game.
Wow.
The only thing is, I don't see them beating Buffalo, and I don't care if it's in Baltimore or in Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't
I just
either.
don't see it.
Yeah.
After what I saw last year, that's where I think it goes, but I do think this team can have a tremendous season. I could see them being the 1 seed in the AFC. There's nothing about this team that precludes me from believing that. The schedule works out nicely in their favor, and I'm going to say it again just so that the Baltimore Ravens fans that have crucified me in the comments will hear me say it again. I feel like I'm on the good side of the public knowledge on Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I'm starting to become a little bit more of a Lamar Jackson believer.
And it's kind of crazy.
It is after all these years.
But it's kind of nice, though.
After all these years, it's kind of weird being on this side. This has been the Baltimore Ravens 2021 win-loss projection from the Sportsocracy, brought to you, as always, from the Wicked Weed Studios. We're live every weekday morning, 9 a.m. from the Wicked Weed Studios, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Now we come to a team that, well, I have to be nice to this team because I'm married to a fan and we live in the same house. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm higher on Pittsburgh than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems to me that they didn't address as much of the offensive line that I'd like them to. They may have the running back position, Najee Harris, unless they plan on running him through the absolute ground.
Which they're gonna.
Yeah. This team is so weird because it's one of those teams where if Ben is healthy, they are a team that can contend. If Ben is not healthy, then they fall right off a cliff. And it's just, Devin Bush comes back and was unbelievable last year. They get a couple other pieces back in the defense. And they're still going to be a good defensive team. It's just the offense. If we're talking about Mason Rudolph being the quarterback week 10, week 11, week 12, or we're talking about Ben's where he can't even throw the ball 5 yards on the field, I could see them falling completely off a cliff.
I have a slightly different belief of the Steelers. The defense is still going to be good. I don't think you lost as much in Bud Dupree as everybody else does. I think a lot of what came Bud Dupree's way came because he had TJ Watt on the other side.
Yeah.
I look at Alex Highsmith, a guy that you took in the draft last year, and I think he'll be just fine. I think he's going to rack up sacks on the opposite end of TJ Watt. The biggest question, like you said, is Big Ben's health.
Yeah.
If Big Ben's healthy, I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
If you tell me he plays 16 games right now and his arm doesn't fall off because they ask him to throw 40 times a game, which with Najee Harris, it makes me think they understand what they did.
Yeah.
I think it's a playoff team. And I look at the schedule, the way the schedule lines up. Yes, you start at the Bills, which is that's not pleasant.
That's a tough game.
But then you go Bengals, Packers, Broncos, Seahawks, Browns, Bears, Lions, at the Chargers. That could be a lot of wins.
Yeah.
A lot of wins. Because of the games I just said, I think they're obviously better than the Bengals. They're better than the Broncos. I think they're better than the Seahawks and the Bears.
Yeah.
And I think they're pretty equitable to the Chargers. And then the schedule kind of turns to the back, the last 6 games. That's the pivot point.
Yeah, then they got Baltimore, Minnesota, Tennessee, Kansas City, Cleveland, and Baltimore again. That is a brutal stretch. And we said this when our original jerk reaction to seeing the schedule release was, man, this team could easily be 8-3 and then lose every game the rest of the season.
And that is what I said, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think they only win one. Mm-hmm. I have them at 9-8. My usual partner, Tank Spencer, has them at 7-10.
Yep.
I think he's grossly too low.
Yep.
He's one of those I'm talking about that are throwing dirt on the Steelers. This is another team I feel like I'm apologizing for. And it's a bizarro year in the AFC North.
I know, right? It's so crazy. I believe I had him at 8-9. I think that's where I had him at. Yep. Oh, nope. Sorry, 9-8.
Yep.
9-8. I had him at 9-8. So I think I have him in the same route as you, but I do have them missing the playoffs. Not by a whole lot. You see that division I have pretty close. I still believe that there's games that are going to be split between these guys, and I think that's part of what's going on. They're going to beat up each other, except for the Bengals. The Bengals are going to lose a lot.
Yes, I have them at 9-8. I have them just missing the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The last playoff team for me, I believe, is the Miami Dolphins. No.
Nope. The Chargers.
The Chargers.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got the division winners and all those things.
Yeah, so they would need to make up a couple games in your scenario to make the playoffs.
I just see a very large difference between the top and bottom of the AFC.
You've said that for a long time now, especially after the draft and everything. You've been talking about how top-heavy the AFC is at the top, but how bad it is at the bottom.
There are 9 teams in the AFC that I can see making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I have the Steelers as the 9th of those 9 teams.
Yeah.
That is just fool me once, shame on me, or fool me once, shame on you, however the fuck it goes.
Yeah.
Wait,
we have that button.
Wait. Yeah, let me let
fool me once, shame on you. fool me, we can't get fooled again.
And that's how I feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I will say this. If you tell me Ben plays 16 games, which in my projection he does not, and you've got Mason Rudolph for those last 6, and I just don't think they can win more than one of those with Mason Rudolph.
I don't know if they can win a game with Mason Rudolph.
And that's the thing. If Ben's healthy, I think this very easily could be a playoff team. I'm going to throw just a line to the people throwing dirt on the Steelers. You've done this before, and it has not worked out for you. And I understand that with Zach Banner and Okorafor at left tackle, they've been right before.
Yeah.
Just remember, we didn't feel great about Ali Villanueva before we knew who he was.
Yeah.
And everything I've heard out of Pittsburgh is they feel good about this line. I think this team can be better than 9-8. I don't see them being worse.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, they will be. I think 9-8's their floor, and that's where I have them based on an injury to a potential injury to Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
This has been the Steelers' 2021 win-loss projection from the Sportsocracy. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Brian Haynes. Join us live every weekday morning at 9 a.m. live from the Wicked Weed Studios. As always, we're brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. All right, all the nice things said about the AFC North, and then we come to it's just.
I was much nicer on Bengals than most of our counterparts that here at the Sportsocracy.
Yeah, let's just swallow. Let's swallow that frog. The Cincinnati Bengals. This is the Cincinnati Bengals 2021 win-loss projection video from the Sportsocracy, thesportsocracy.com, brought to you as always by Wicked Weed, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I am Jeremy Greene. This is Brian Haynes.
Sorry about that.
the Bengals are one of those teams that I catch a lot of shit. I do. I just catch a lot of shit.
You do a lot of flack.
About how I feel.
It's so bad.
And it's a lot of...
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
I don't hate this team. I really don't. There's no animus to me with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm going to level with you. You want me to tell you why there's no animus? Because you've never mattered to me. You can call me a Patriot hater. I am. You can call me a Dolphin Bill hater. I am. Dallas Cowboys, on and on and on. The Bengals have never had any effect on me. We played you in the playoffs one time, and we beat you.
Yep.
So, there's no animus here. I'm just telling you the truth.
Right.
I did not like the selection of Jamar Chase in the first round. I understand he looks good on air. That's not my problem. Your offensive line's not good.
Yeah.
It's still not good. Oh, you feel great about Riley Reif. Good for you. I don't. And if I'm wrong 16 weeks from now, I'll say so. But then I look at the Bengals schedule.
Yeah.
And let's be really honest. There are not a ton of winnable games on the schedule. I mean, you tell me who they're going to beat. I'm just going to go from right to left here. Or left to right. Minnesota, that's preseason. I boo-boo kiddied that. Nope, that's right. Minnesota Vikings.
It's all right.
Minnesota Vikings. They're going to beat Minnesota?
I don't think so.
I agree. The Bears, the Steelers. Hey, the Jaguars. There's one. Green Bay. Detroit Lions. You're not beating. You're going to beat the Lions, but you're not beating Green Bay. You're not beating Baltimore. I'm going to be honest with you. You're not beating the Jets. You're not beating the Browns. You're not beating the Raiders. You're not beating the Steelers. You're not beating the Chargers. You're not beating the 49ers. You might sneak one out by the Broncos. You're not beating the Ravens. You're not beating the Chiefs. You're not beating the Browns.
Okay.
What of what I just said can you throw any shade at whatsoever?
I think they could beat the Bears.
I don't.
Jacksonville, Detroit.
Okay, so here's what you're telling me. With that line that I have said all offseason is their biggest weakness, you're telling me they're going to slow down Khalil Mack.
No.
There you go. You see that? You hear that?
Here's the thing. They are a team that does have talent around them. Will they be able to protect Joe long enough to get the ball to them? I don't know. I look at a team that has Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, who
and Auden Tate, who I like.
Yeah.
I love your weapons.
Yep.
My problem's not, and I love Joe Mixon. My problem's not your weapons. My problem is that you built this team backwards. And I look at your offensive line, and half of them are below average NFL starters.
I just think they're going to regret not that passing on Penei Sewell. We talked about the package deal sort of earlier in the draft where would you rather have Penei Sewell and let's say what did we say, Terrace Marshall?
Yeah.
As opposed to Jamar Chase and Liam Eichenberg, is it who?
No,
not
Riley
Reif. Riley Reif.
They took Jackson Carman.
Jackson Carman, that's who I was thinking of. I'm very sorry.
But Jackson Carman's a guard.
That's the thing.
So you're going to put Jonah Williams on the outside at right tackle, who's been hurt constantly. And Riley Reif, who, and let me explain this since so many Bengals fans felt the urge. A lot of good players got cut. You're 100% right. A lot of good players did get cut. However, they're paying a rookie damn near the same amount.
Yeah.
Christian Darrisaw is making like $3 million less than Riley Reif.
Yeah.
If they really felt like he was their left tackle, he would still be there.
Yeah.
Because they think they're a competitive playoff team. They don't. Pretty connected to that team. Got one of their beat writers on my speed dial.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, this Riley Reif thing, you can keep telling me how wrong I am.
Yeah.
You're going to find out real fast. Because to start the season, you go Minnesota, who's going to have Danielle Hunter, Khalil Mack, T.J. Watt, Josh Allen from the Jaguars, the Smith brothers in Green Bay. Do you kind of see where I'm going here?
There's not going to be much
I already
protection.
knew who you were playing.
Yeah.
I just didn't know in what order.
Yeah.
If Jonah Williams gets hurt again, which he has repeatedly, you are fucked by the fickle finger of fate.
Yeah.
If you want somebody to lie to you, there are a lot of Bengals message boards out there where they will do that. I am not one of those. You have a massive deficiency in Zach Taylor, who asks a lot of offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Because it's a quick everything. It's a recipe for disaster. I have the Cincinnati Bengals at 1-16.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be picking at the top of the NFL draft again next year.
Yeah.
And hopefully this time you'll realize you need a left tackle.
I keep going back to that meme that was going around with Joe sitting there with that huge scar in his knee.
Yep.
And everybody in the meme says something like, "Oh, you wanted to draft Jamar Chase over Penny Sewell. How's that going for you?"
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm looking at and saying, did you guys make a huge mistake by passing up on what, as everybody said, is a all-world 10-year left tackle to protect your very, very good quarterback who showed last year that he belongs in this league, but not running around like he's got a chicken with his head cut off, but it's because he has no time to throw the ball to anybody.
Yep.
I mean, he was
problem.
sacked so many times in the small amount of times he played.
The outside weapons for the Bengals are a Maserati, and the Bengals don't know how to drive a stick.
Yep.
That's the problem. You forgot to get a driver that knows how to drive a stick, which is your offensive line.
Yep.
And that's how I feel about that. My usual partner, Tank Spencer, has them at 2-15. And Brian, you have them at 5-12. So you're markedly nicer than I am.
I was markedly nicer. I think that the talent alone will help them, and that is a prediction saying that Joe plays 17 games.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't play 17 games and he gets hurt again, sorry, you're going to lose every single game.
Yeah, there's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I see it in the offing, and I'm going to level with you. Bengals fans, I don't hate you. I would love for you to be good. All of the teams that have been bad forever, whether it's my Jets, the Bengals, the Bills, all of these teams, I root for you to be good because I would love to see you be good.
Yeah.
I just don't think you're there yet.
Yep.
I think it's coming once you fix the offensive line because I think there are pieces on the defense and obviously the outside weapons and Joe Mixon are all things that I believe in.
Yep.
This has been the Cincinnati Bengals 2021 win projection video from the Sportsocracy. Join us live weekday mornings at 9 a.m. from the Wicked Weed Studios. As always, we're brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. That should incite some Bengals fans.
That should do pretty well.
I'm going to get some hate on that one. The thing of it is that I don't see any way this division doesn't play out. Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Bengals.
I agree. Even if the Bengals win a couple games like I have them winning 5, they're not getting anywhere close to third place in this division. This division is very good. Still, the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens are playoff teams, and the Steelers are a fringe playoff team depending on Ben Roethlisberger.
Thank you for checking out our AFC North 2021 win-loss projection video. Be sure to click the like and subscribe button. Join us live every weekday morning at 9 a.m. right here in the Wicked Weed Studios. As always, we're brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different.